We might just have to do a 75th anniversary plus one when we can actually be in person. But the question did come up if adult beverages are allowed at this time, and I would say yes, absolutely. Work has stopped for some, so please, enjoy the next hour that you're going to be spending with us. So we really appreciate you all taking the time. Real quick, I just wanted to give you all a sense of what we're looking to kind of go through today. Obviously, an introduction by myself. We are going to be talking a little bit about the history of Maui United Way, the current work that we're doing, what's on the horizon, the world premiere of our 75th anniversary video, and an amazing campaign that we're kicking off today that we're really, really excited to announce with you all. We do have some amazing individuals and partners on the line. But with that, I did want to do a quick introduction and pass it off to our distinguished Lieutenant Governor Joshua Green, just to say a few words.
Aloha, everybody. I hope you can see me here virtually. Just wanted to say how much I appreciate you. And my mother worked for the United Way back in Pennsylvania, so her experience was something special. And I can't even imagine what we'd do if we didn't have people fighting for the safety net like you. I just don't know what would happen. So it's an honor to be here with you. I know that I could speak for other friends who are going to come on, whether it's Mayor Victorino or some of my other buddies in the Capitol, when we say that it's a wild time. I mean, this is an unbelievable circumstance. It was already tough, and working in the space that you do is extraordinary. It's really the most important place to work. And now, as we've compounded the challenges and lots of families are struggling, 11, 12,000 families having a hard time paying their rent, and others looking for food support, and all of these challenges that rise up when there's a crisis, you're more important than ever. We've seen calls for support for those who are suffering domestic violence rise 300%. People shouting out for help when they've considered hurting themselves 30 times higher among some of our practices. But your work, by giving people some hope, by providing some resources, by giving, I don't even know how many thousands and thousands of hours to committed positive change for people, is just amazing. So it's right to say do more good. I'm going to make a donation here in 10 seconds once I figure out how to use my my app over here. And certainly always count on me and Jamie, but we just think you're amazing. And thank you for fighting. And in the next year, the work will be even more important than the last. So you're amazing. And the 76th anniversary will be kick butt too, but we'll do it in person. God willing. So thank you again for including me. I so appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Governor Green. And it's amazing to see. We appreciate all of your updates and glad you're healthy and continuing to do more good within the state of Hawaii. We know the work the state and the county continues to do and the hours that you all are putting in. And we really, really do appreciate it. I don't know if that work gets the thanks that it deserves, but we truly appreciate it, and we're lucky and very fortunate to have you be part of our community. Mahalo. So moving on, we did have some amazing proclamations. I wouldn't sit here and read them all, but thank you to Governor Ige's office, Senator Schatz's office, of course the county, and Senator Hirono's office. I will be sure to share these and the warm wishes that they've sent along to us during the 75th anniversary. I see Makana taking a picture, so I'm gonna, with my very odd background, we'll try to get that in there. It's just amazing to see the kind words coming from the people that are continuing to do a lot of work and taking the time out to honor the accomplishment that is 75 years of doing more good. Chatting a little bit about the history of Maui United Way. If you guys didn't know, we were actually founded in 1945 as a community chest after World War II. We've certainly changed a little bit since then, but we're continuing to do what we did back then as well, by having a vision to lead and uniting partners to provide a thriving, sustainable quality of life by effectively addressing Maui's most vital needs and inspiring people to give, advocate, and volunteer. Our mission is to empower our Maui community through caring partnerships that enrich people's lives. This is the ethos. This is what we live by. This is what our volunteers, our partners, our board, our supporters, and really the entire Maui community does. So yes, we are a little bit different than we were back then, but we're still very, very same. A big shout out to, obviously all of the supporters that have made these 75 years possible. I'd be remiss to say, a big shout out to A&B celebrating their 150 years this year as well. Hawaiian Electric, Maui Electric, amazing long-standing partner. Matson's, Goodfellows, Walker Industries, some of our newer partners like Century Insurance, all the way down to our Ace Hardware store, and of course, even the donors within Cameron Center here in the nonprofit sector. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without that trust, that support, and that commitment. And that's 75 years. So high five to every past director, every past board member. We're a small town here, so I'm sure we run into them very frequently. The foundation that was built in 75 years has allowed us to do what we do now, and to be able to provide the support and the safety net that our community has really needed. So big shout out, big mahalo, 75 years. I hope I can make it to 75 years. I did want to chat a little bit about our current work. A lot of you guys know what we do. Some of you might not know, some of you might not know all that we do. But I did want to touch a little bit of what we've been doing this last year, and kind of what's on the horizon as well. As you all know, we have our Community Impact Grant. That's where we fund our really trusted partner agencies that are providing the most vital work in our community. This process actually began prior to COVID, but has pivoted in some senses since then as well. We updated this program to actually look at a 3-year funding cycle. So to provide, consistent funding year over year for 3 years as a long-term investment in the work that you all are doing. I know we've got some of those partners on the call now. We've got some new partners that have never been funded before either. We updated it to do it remotely as well. So we had site visits. We had 40 volunteers visiting 40 nonprofits remotely this year. It certainly seems like that was 10 years ago that we did that, but we're excited to have those 39 agencies that we trust. And they'll actually be receiving over $400,000 annually over the next 3 years. And it just goes to show you that the community that chose these, these programs and these nonprofits really see the value in that. And that's one of the connections that we're able to make. The next thing that we've been working on that we really wish that we didn't have to do was our COVID safety net grant. Back in February, we determined, and our board determined, the need that was developing because of this crisis. We actually created a full granting process. We create, bylaw, all of the logistics on this. Our board, decided to partition $75,000 out of our reserves to kind of seed this fund to start injecting resources into those much needed programs that we saw on the horizon. Since then, we've actually funded over $188,000 outside of our normal funding. To 40 different programs outside of our normal programs. We're continuing to fundraise for this. We're continuing to grow it and adapt it as we see more need, not as Lieutenant Governor Green said, the next year, but probably the next 4 years, and start thinking in that longer term perspective as far as what type of recovery we're looking for. We also launched a CRUA fund, which is COVID rental utility assistance. That was with our partners at Aloha United Way, Hawaiian Island United Way, and Kauai United Way. That kicked off back in April to actually start providing support for rental and utility assistance. There's still a little bit of funds left in there, obviously with the state program that's, kind of playing catch up right now. We do see that as an ongoing issue. I think there's been probably about 85% of the calls that we're seeing for Maui are specifically for rental and utility assistance. So we'll continue to try to adapt and help out in that space as much as possible. Then, of course, we always have our fun programs as well, our Tools for School and our holiday toy drive. Once again, these things have pivoted quite a bit. Rather than, our traditional school drive, we've actually been looking for school in the new era, as far as working and going to school remotely, and hand sanitizer, and a lot of those types of things. But once again, what I love about Maui United Way in our communities is we can just do it. Let's just figure it out. Let's get it done. Our team met with Department of Education. They met with community leaders to figure out what gap do we need to fill, and we filled it, and we're continuing to fill it. We know that there's, once again, a long road ahead in that space, whether it's devices for students out in Lanai or East Maui to learn remotely, or, help with hubs to where, students can, potentially go learn in pods. We're still trying to address these issues. We see, that childcare and education is kind of an ongoing issue that could create some gaps even further along in kind of the haves and the have-nots that we'll continue to focus on. One of the other areas that we really knew was coming was PPE. So we actually launched a program in partnership with Hawaii Community Foundation to basically provide free PPE to any 501c3, whoever needed it, basically on demand.
Get that to somebody.
We've actually been able to disseminate over 26,000 pieces since we launched that. We were able, and a big high five to Lieutenant Governor Green. I was at Mokulele early Friday morning getting 7 boxes of PPE over to Lanai Kanaole, one of our great board members and partners over there. And we can just do it. We figure it out. We're lucky enough to have a great partnership with Hawaii Community Foundation. They actually just got word, I don't know if it was yesterday or today, you're losing track of days, that we've got another $10,000 that's coming in specifically for that, to really just prepare. I like to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. It's the military guy coming out in me. And, we are opening up. We could be at higher risk, and we just want to prepare for that. So thank you to Hawaii Community Foundation for that. Of course, a big high five to Ange, our staff, for running these programs on top of everything else that we're doing. The team has taken on a massive workload, and we couldn't do it without them. We've also given out 220 gallons of hand sanitizer in that program as well. Another interesting thing that we're looking at that we want everybody on this call to be cognizant of as well is the emotional labor that's taking place within our community right now. The compassion fatigue syndrome, we're all empathetic. We're all trying to help our community out. Be aware of that. We are looking at doing some trainings in the near future. We take that very, very seriously within our team. We are prominent and proud to say that mental health days are just as important if you could be positive for COVID. Maybe it's not, I shouldn't say that. But we feel that, mental health days are incredibly important, and we want you all to be cognizant of that as well, as we're starting to see that in the community. Another great program we have is our fiscal sponsorships. This was something that was launched with our prior director, Carrie Nunakawa. We've got a couple of programs that we're operating that wouldn't be able to operate without our partnership. One of those is the Choose Love program that we're wrapping up, teaching empathy once again within the school. And then of course our ESG and Ahupua'a Summit and kind of regenerative, sustainable community exploration is what I'll call. So we're excited for that. Lots of work to do in that space, and just another avenue that Maui United Way has been able to kind of help out. I couldn't say anything without our campaign that is actually running right now. So obviously our biggest funding source is through our workplace campaigns. We know it's tough right now. We know it's incredibly difficult for us to even ask. We are preparing for a 50% decrease in this revenue. We are preparing for how do we adapt and figure out ways to mitigate that loss. But with the economy the way that it is, the unemployment the way that it is, we understand that it is going to be difficult to fundraise in those means. We have adapted a little bit. We are extending out that campaign until the end of November. Ange has done an incredible job, our campaign coordinator, to kind of make a hybrid campaign this year as well. Digital, we can do remote, virtual meetings. We can bring our nonprofit partners on to share the work that they're doing, just to make it as easy as possible for our funders to really support the work that we're doing. So just a reminder, once again, November 30th, we'll be closing that out. We are extending it a little bit this year, so thank you. What's on the horizon? That's a very interesting thing. Um, it's tough to think long term when you're treading water and basically trying to put out every dumpster fire that's popping up as far as community needs go. But we are looking at long-term fire breaks on how we can kind of address the community needs that are popping up. Of course, also our business model as well, as the United Way model is getting outdated. We have seen our income decrease within our campaigns over the last 10 years, and nationally you're seeing the same thing. But once again, we're small. We can react and act and be proactive, which is what I really enjoy. We've got a couple of those plans, on the horizon right now. One of those is we're continuing our fiscal sponsorships. We're excited to announce we've got 2 new fiscal sponsorships that we're running right now. One is through the AVID program, and if you all are not aware, that's actually college preparatory for our children, our keiki here on island. We're working with King Kaulike and Lokalani Intermediate School. There's actually 2 different programs, one for $30,000 and one for $10,000 for college preparatory in that space. We're really excited to help out in there, as of course one of our pillars is education. Another fantastic, I'm incredibly excited for this one. Our board is incredibly excited for this one, is with Hawaii Taro Farm LLC. Me personally, I love, agriculture. I love the sustainability model. Obviously with supply chain and being, the pico of the Pacific, the middle of the Pacific, we have to be cognizant of where our food and healthy food is coming from. This is in partnership with a variety of farmers over near us in Wailuku, and helping create a sustainable model, both within pig farming to organic farming to teaching, to integrating it with our food banks as well. So this is something that we've just launched. We'll actually announce this in the public space in probably the next couple of weeks, but we're really excited for what that can bring on the horizon. Speaking earlier about income streams, obviously we've got to diversify. We can't rely on the one singular source. So what we're actually looking at doing is launching a thrift shop. This is in partnership, not in competition of any other resale shop that's out there. I came from Australia, where the organization I worked with had 300 plus, and you'd see thrift shop after thrift shop, op shop after op shop, but they would work in partnership. And that's what we're looking at doing now. We really want to create that model that we have this passive income ongoing, to where that funds can be directly injected back into the community and through our partners. Not too far on the horizon, we're looking at early next year to be able to roll that out. I will knock on wood. We actually started this process prior to the crisis hitting, have continued the process of developing this business model, and are excited to roll that out with board support next year. Next is something that we've had to kind of figure out how to fill the gaps on. In our community, what we're seeing right now is there's resources over here, and people in need over here, and really not too many ways to connect them. We've got great nonprofits and great working groups that are creating these resource lists of what's out there, whether it's food, whether it's healthcare, whether it's childcare, mental health awareness, domestic violence, substance abuse, rental and utility assistance. But those things get outdated fairly quickly. They get updated fairly quickly, and nobody knows which one to go to at any time. So the United Way model is utilizing 211 as the resource. Right now, 211 is operated on Oahu for the entire state. Obviously, that influx of calls the last 10 months, 8 months, I think we've seen over 40,000 just for Maui County. A lot of dots might not be getting connected. So we're working with the county. We're working with some private donors to actually hire a staff member here in Maui, specifically to represent Maui and Maui Nui and the nonprofits that are here, to liaise with our nonprofits, to get those programs updated in a centralized location, and to answer the calls that are coming in from our community with someone here in the community. We see this as a long-term role, not necessarily just a quick fix, but we're really excited for that. We're working with our partners at Aloha United Way, and we see a massive room for growth in that space. So stay tuned. Its timing on it is really serendipitous. It's a new system that's being launched within Salesforce to really make it easier for the community to connect those dots. And once again, it just goes to show you the partnership that we have with our other United Ways within the state. We are working with United Way worldwide. The iniquities that we have here in Maui are, we're kind of a firewalled system. We can test some things, we can see about scaling them, and then we can look at launching them in other United Ways as well. And one of those things that we're working on is really measuring social impacts. And that's the business model switch that we're looking to make. We fund agencies. Agencies provide data on what those funds do. We're really looking at honing that in with a fantastic working group of AI and machine learning. We've got some pollsters, we've got survey specialists, we've got some First Nations people as well. We've got some system scientists to start putting all of this data together, to start evaluating both what impacts we've had, what that return is, and what we see kind of trending in the future. United Way Worldwide is actually investing in this for us because they see this as a great way to roll out with 1,800 other United Ways on the impacts that they're having within their community. Let's say we have a big company that wants to come to us and say, hey, I want you all to measure the impacts that we're having. Okay, great. Where are you investing those resources, and how do what do you want to have outcomes in the future? Do you want to have better affordable housing, more long-term, childcare within your workforce? We can start measuring those things. So that's definitely on the horizon. We're excited for that as well. Something that's very timely, that we are having open conversations about as well, is really kind of our systemic racism and ethnic discrimination. It's a call to action that we as an entire worldwide organization are taking at United Way, to where we've actually implemented it into our ethos within our board and our national board. So Maui United Way is part of a small working group of CEOs. There's about 25 of us working from around the country to develop, the systems that we're integrating within United Ways. That's both how we fund agencies and what steps they take to curtail this, both in how their clients are served, as well as their board and staff makeup as well. I come from a wide variety of areas within the U.S. and beyond, and I think that the timing on it is pertinent because there's a national voice. It's something that should have been taken place and should have been done a long time ago. But we are excited to be a leader in that space, and look forward to working with our nonprofit partners to really integrate that plan into their bylaws and how they're funding, because it will be something that we will look at as a scoring metrics on how we invest in the future. So there's lots that we're working on. We are a small but mighty force. We've got Sherry, our office manager, Ange, our community impact, our campaign coordinator, and McConaughey, who's just our nonprofit and PR guru. But we're able to do these things with the community, with the volunteers, with our board support, and really with this broader network that we have. So lots to do. We're excited for that. We're excited to plan for that. Because obviously the goal is to put us out of business. That's the goal, right? When is there not a need for the work that we're doing? So with that, that's our then, now, and what we're looking at on the horizon. I did want to see if Mayor Victorino is available for just a couple of minutes, if he'd like to chat and say a few words. And he might have expected to speak earlier on, and I didn't allow him.
No, that's okay. And mahalo. It's not your fault. Just there's a thing called COVID that I deal with each and every day. And Lanai has had, and as you're well aware of what's going on the island of Lanai. But we have good news, and I'm having a press conference in about half an hour, so I'm good. First of all, I want to say congratulations to Maui United Way, your 75th anniversary. That's slightly older than I am, but boy, it doesn't feel like you're a day past 5 years. You guys have done a fabulous job in the changing dynamics, the changing economy, the changing family lifestyle here in Maui County. And I want to thank you all. I want to thank you for your leadership, all of you for what you do, all our partners, all our donors. I'm proud to say that a couple years back when Century first came to Maui and was doing their golf tournament, we had lunch together. And Pete, their CEO, said, look, what can I do? Who can I help? And Maui United Way was one of the first things that came out of my mouth, that they needed as much help as they could because they helped so many other nonprofits across the board. I had served on your allocation committee twice, and was very proud to have helped a number of organizations. And it's really hard, just like in government, trying to stretch every dollar to the max and giving everybody what they need, sometimes not what they want. And it's a real tough job. And us in government understand that. We realize that's really important, but it's your nonprofits like the Maui United Way who then takes it out to another level with other groups and other nonprofits that really, really make this whole thing work. It's a collaborative effort. So again, thank you very much, Nick, for everything you do. I know when you first came in, a lot of us didn't know who you were. Who was Nick? But I've gotten to know you, and I really respect and enjoy working with you whenever we can. And you got my undying support. And again, like I said, with Century and others now coming to our assistance, the 200,000 that they sent earlier this year for the pandemic purpose, on top of what else they've given, has been greatly appreciated. And again, Nick, you're in contact with them. We're in contact with Wisconsin's United Way. What's the name of the town? Oh, Nick, what is the name of the town? I forgot.
You're going to put me under the pressures. I chat to them regularly as well, but I couldn't pull that one out of my hat.
I mean, something, anyhow, we'll think about it. When we get it, we'll let everybody know. I apologize. My fault, my bad. But, again, just to close, because I don't want to take up everybody's time, your presentation is really in line with what the county and my administration, along with the council, is moving towards. Sustainability, self-sufficiency, reliability on our own side, being resilient is very important. This county, of all the counties, has taken a major, major hit. And our hospitality industry is slowly recovering. But these outbreaks, like what happened on Lanai, can happen anywhere else. And so we have to be prepared to make sure this COVID-19, for once and for all, will be put to rest and we can continue to move on with the new economy will be built around. And just what you said, sustainability, farming, all these different aspects have to be, whether it's manufacturing, the medical field, wellness, health industry can really blossom here in Maui and the state. And that's not something we're moving towards quite rapidly. And the United Way stands with us and I stand with them. I'll close with this. No community in this country, let alone in the state, is an island to themselves. Even though we may be islands and an island state and in the middle of the Pacific, we are all still very interdependent on each other. What happens in Oahu affects Maui. What happens in Kauai affects the Big Island. We are one state. Even though we're separated by water, we are one state. So let's continue to work together as a county with your leadership, Nick, and all the rest of you. Thank you, Josh, for being on the conference, the video conference today. Really appreciate it. All of the other ones that sit there and looking at me, Sherry, I know you're looking at me. Gotcha, Sherry. Thank you. Nice to see you. And all of you, please let us continue to work together. Even you, Makana, I appreciate everything all of you do. It's all the people I can see in front of me. That's why I'm bringing out your names. But more importantly, Nick, we praise you, we honor you, and we ask to continue to work with you. And we, the County of Maui, will be a better place for it. Mahalo and aloha to all of you.
Mahalo, Mayor Victorino. And as I spoke about, Lieutenant Governor Josh Green, is the work that the county is doing, I think goes unthanked enough. The hours that they work, I see Mayor Victorino when it's dark outside behind him, when it's light outside behind him, all hours, and getting out to Lanai on Friday, being there, checking on the community. I'm just incredibly grateful for who we have in those roles. And obviously the work that the county and staff has done and continues to do during these difficult times. You guys are legitimately doing more good, so mahalo. moving on, we did want to share our latest and greatest world premiere of our 75th anniversary video. Big high five to Silver Shark Media for helping out with that. And we appreciate that work that you guys have done. Let me make sure I've got it here. And hopefully I'll ask Makana. Makana, can you see that okay?
Yeah, I'm in like a different view. So yep, looks good.
Awesome. Don't look at that face.
Nick, you look so handsome in this whole thing. Good
45.
luck. Aloha, everyone.
It just ended. Gas cost a total of 15 cents, and the average home was only $4,600 to purchase. A few things have changed in those 75 years here in Maui Nui, including Maui United Way. We know that we'll be here for the next 75 years as we adapt and grow with our community to serve it the best way we can. Happy anniversary, Maui United Way, and to all the impacts that we've done in the last 75 years. You know, Maui United Way is special for a number of reasons. One of them is really the staff and board that stands behind this organization. It's also our partners and volunteers. We work with over 39 nonprofits and support over 30,000 individuals on an annualized basis that really are doing the best work that can be done.
So Maui United Way, to me, is the cornerstone of Maui's nonprofit community. It provides support and resources to, a broad array of nonprofits that provide services that are deeply needed by this community.
Maui United Way is honestly, Maui no Ka'oi. There's a reason for that. I believe Maui United Way is the best United Way in the country because of the community that surrounds us, because of the staff and the experience that they bring to the table, and because of the board that volunteers their time.
Maui United Way checks a lot of boxes for me because it addresses some of the large concerns that Maui has, from housing to healthcare to food availability, especially with COVID-19 and the current pandemic and economic situation that we find ourselves in. The need for nonprofit services has never been more visible, so Maui United Way is really helping to address these emerging needs that maybe in the past we didn't even know existed.
With the current healthcare crisis, with the current economic crisis, Maui United Way has had to adapt and pivot to best serve those that are falling through the cracks. We've been able to create a safety net for those that need it most, and we understand that we can continue to pivot as necessary.
I myself am a 6th generation resident of this island. 75 years having been a part of Maui Nui means a lot to me personally. It means that they are working and listening with the community to see and to find out what it is that we can do to be better as a community and to address some of the shortcomings so that people can truly make this a home.
Your Maui United Way will always have the core pillars that we will always serve within our community, including education, economic sustainability, and the health and well-being of our community members.
The past 75 years have been very productive. I think the next 75 years are probably going to look similar in the way that we address the community, but a lot different in the way in which we do that, and the way in which we evaluate the community and the community's needs.
If I could ask for one wish for Maui United Way's 75th anniversary, it would be for you to do more good. It is 75 years, so I'd be remiss to say, go out and see if you can donate 75 hours of your time this year. Donate $75 to Maui United Way or one of our partners. Every nonprofit in our community is still a business and needs support. We run on a shoestring, and every little bit helps.
So I want to take this moment to thank you all for your continued support, and as I do, I will also ask you, please live united with aloha.
Awesome. So thank you all for indulging me on the video. I am going to jump back into my presentation and actually go back a slide. So I did want to chat a little bit about that last wish that we were looking for, and it was to do more good. That means a lot to me because of a lot of different reasons. Right now, it's really easy to just kind of curl up in the fetal position, lock the doors, stop doom scrolling, and just take care of each other, our immediate, surroundings. But that's difficult because that hurts a lot more than it helps as well. So what we're asking is just our community to get out and do more good. We're actually going to be running this campaign for at least the next 6 months or so. And what we're asking our community to do is to pledge. Pledge to give 75 hours to any nonprofit. Doesn't even have to be a nonprofit. Pledge 75 hours to go clean up a beach, to go buy some groceries for your neighbor, to call on a neighbor and check and see how they're doing, or volunteer your expertise at a nonprofit. That provides huge value to the work that we do, and it's something that we continue to need to do, obviously in a safe fashion for obviously health and safety reasons. But that's what we want our community to do. It's more good. We ask that you pledge to donate $75 to Maui United Way or any nonprofit. Right now, resources are slim, but the need is greater than ever. We're actually finding CARES Act funding can be difficult to spend because we don't have the administrative capacity, and our nonprofits do. And we see that as resources just fizzling out within the community. So small investments can have a huge return in that space. And with our campaign, we're asking people to pledge $7.50 a pay period. That goes a massively long way in the long run. So with that, we're trying to incentivize our community a little bit. So in partnership with Hawaii's Finest, we've actually got this amazingly, I'm stoked for it, a rad new design that you can see some of us wearing now. That basically, if you pledge to donate and do more good within the community, you're going to get one of these shirts. We're not going to mail it to you. It's going to be a drive-by. We'll throw it in. We'll be safe. We'll do all of the proper precautions. But we want these limited edition shirts to show our community and your Ohana that you are doing more good during these times. So there is a limited edition amount. There's not too many of them. I did snag one earlier today. So they just came in hot off the presses. I know some of our board members are rocking them as well. We're just trying to activate our community, whether it's through us or through one of our partners or just, within your own neighborhood, your own street, your own zip code. This is what we see as a need. So we want people to hashtag, if they're doing more good, take a picture, hashtag it, do more good Maui Nui. We're going to be, showcasing the work being done across the board in our social media, within our newsletters, within our website. And we're really excited to be able to do this. Usually we have some pretty unique parade shirts that we do every year. Obviously there was no parade this year. So we figured we'd do this instead. So thank you to Hawaii's Finest. We're excited for the logo. I don't know if United Way Worldwide will get mad at us for not being in the proper fit, but who cares? We're in Maui. So please visit our website. We'll actually be sending out a link after this for our community to pledge. Lieutenant Governor Green, you've got one on the way. Mayor Victorina, you've got one on the way. We know the work that you guys have been doing, and we'd be proud if you all would rep Maui Nui and Maui United Way. I do want to give a special shout out to our board. We've worked incredibly hard to develop our board this year under great leadership, both in our exec committee and our committees. We are growing that board even further. We've got representation now on Lanai and beyond. They really are also the lifeblood of our organization. So thank you to them. Jumping back, I did skip for those donations that are made for this campaign. This is a big thing. I should have probably mentioned this. We've got an amazing donor that has been supporting us for several years, the Bend and Family Foundation. They are going to be doubling those donations up to, wait for it, $50,000. That is a massive amount of trust and support they have provided in us. But they wanted to leverage that gift to activate the community to do more good as well. So we appreciate the support that you all have. It is our 75 years. Once again, I'd be toasting you all if we were in person. Please hold tight, hang in there. We know the work that you all are doing. We know the need that's out there. We couldn't do this without you. We couldn't do this without Locks. We couldn't do this without all the prior directors that have allowed us to do what we do, the prior board members, the prior city council, everybody. It's a long uphill road ahead. We know that. I still have some non-gray hair, so I'm okay. But we need your help. Our partners need your help. Our community needs your help. We got to look beyond tomorrow. So aloha, until next time. And we appreciate everyone and hope you'll do more good this year. Aloha.
Thanks, Nick. That was awesome.
Good job, Nick. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
You.
Thank you, everyone. It's nice to see your faces.
Lanai loves you.
Yay!
Uh,
Time. Same with Josh Green and the mayor.
Yes, thank you. Inspiring.